Hello friends, and welcome to the Path to Flexibility. In this class we'll be focusing on stretching our inner thighs, and I want you to take a moment just to think about how often you open your inner thighs in your everyday life, and based on that it might be very tight. If you are somebody who opens up their hips in that way a lot, you might not be so restricted in that range of motion, but if you are somebody who sits like this for most of the day, then definitely your inner thighs will feel a lot tighter. So in this class we'll be taking our time to open up our hips in this different way. And if you do feel a big restriction in your inner thighs when you stretch them, know that this is very normal and common because of how we spend our everyday lives. But if we introduce this kind of position in our practice, then our bodies can relax a little bit more, and you can feel that restriction and tension in inner thighs slowly over time relaxing and melting away. So let's get started sitting in a comfortable seated position. And you can find your easy pose, one foot in front of the other, allowing your hands just to rest down wherever they're comfortable, rolling your shoulders up, back, and down. Taking a moment to fully settle into your space, into your body. Always starting out your practice with a little bit more intention and connection inwards into yourself, noticing how you feel in this moment and how your body feels. And when you're ready, let's bring the hands together to the center of the chest and just take a moment here if you'd like to set any intention for your practice today, connecting to one word that first comes to your mind that inspires you. My word today is trust. I thought I would share it with you, and this is the first thing that came to my mind. And I think trust is about trusting this process, trusting my practice, trusting that change is happening, it's coming, and that by showing up, by doing the work, by doing the practice, I am one step closer to wherever I want to be. So if that inspires you, you can keep that with you. Otherwise, think of your own words and gently open the eyes when you're ready. So we're going to start out lying down in a Supta Baddha Konasana, which is basically a lying down butterfly. I'm going to bring my feet together, and heels can be as close as you'd like to your pubic bone. It doesn't have to be too close, especially if you're tighter in the inner thighs. And go ahead and lie down on your back. So let your shoulders relax down here, and then if you're noticing that it's very tight, you can't relax, I want you to place 2 cushions from your home underneath your knees or blocks, yoga blocks, to support you so that you can somewhat soften into this and just let gravity do its job. You can have your hands on your low belly, and let's take 5 deep breaths together. The breath is crucial for our nervous system to relax here so that we can uncover more of our own natural flexibility. Take a big inhale into the nose, fill up the belly. Slow exhale out through the nose, release the breath. Let the shoulders drop down heavier into the floor. Again, inhale, breathing in like you're filling up a balloon with your breath, and slowly breathing out. Relax any tension from your body, from your face, shoulders, jaw. Again, inhale. Slowly exhale. Empty the lungs completely. Last one, inhale. Exhale. And release. Use your hands to close the knees together, hug the knees into the chest. Let's start to circle the knees apart, moving into the hip joints. And I want you to imagine, so we worked on this in our outer hips class, I want you to imagine that ball and socket sensation. So you're really moving your hips into a full rotation, into a circle. So think up, out, and around. And once your body's ready, let's reverse the direction and circle the other way. And notice if it feels different, if there's any restrictions. We're using our breath. Good, one more breath. And release, hug both knees into the chest, rock Back and forth a few times until you're ready to come into a butterfly position. So we're gonna have our heels, again, as close as you'd like to your pubic bone. So our hips are all very different and we have different ranges of flexibility. So it doesn't have to be too crazy. And from here, we're gonna open the feet like a book, kind of encouraging that external rotation. Inhale, let the shoulders drop down and send your chest through the arms. And as you exhale, start to circle over the toes. Detaching what anything looks like on our mat, and we're just focusing on the feeling. How does this feel in my body? Can I make it feel more spacious? And circle the other way. Good. Now come back to the center, and I want you to open your feet as wide as your mat. Fingers face forward like the toes, and start to windshield wipe the knees right and left a few times, moving the hips through internal and external rotation. And again, depending on the day, this might feel pretty tight. It might feel interesting. So just observe, notice how this feels. Now, once you're ready, we're gonna pause at the center, and I want you to open the right leg out, straight out. Take the left foot into the right inner thigh, and you're leaning back, right? We're gonna start to sit up a little bit more, a little bit higher. And now flex the right ankle, press the left foot into the inner thigh, stretch up. And as you exhale, just bring your chest down. Inhale, reach all the way up, keep your spine as long as possible. Exhale, hinge your body forward. You might feel that right back of the thigh starting to work. Inhale, exhale, bring your fingertips down and circle the right ankle in and out. Stay here, and now we're gonna take our right hand to the middle so that your right hand and left hand are both inside the right foot. Open up the chest so you're in that half butterfly, half hamstring stretch, and exhale, fold. It doesn't have to be so crazy that your belly is down on the floor or anything like that. You can be sitting pretty tall, but I want you to focus on avoiding any rounding. So shoulders drop down, chest pulls forward, and you're here. Now, what we can also do here is press our foot, left foot, into the right inner thigh and back. So you're creating a little more stability, like your outer hips are hugging in towards each other. And hold here for 3. Chest forward for 2. And 1. Good. Back to the center. Bring your left foot forward, feet hip width distance, fingers forward, and start again to windshield wipe the knees, right and left. Maybe things feel a little more loose now. Just notice if anything feels a bit better, a bit easier. We're just observing, and maybe it still doesn't, and that's okay. And now back to the center. We're going to rise up, open the left leg straight out, and right foot comes into the left inner thigh. If you're still leaning back, go ahead and sit up and adjust whatever you need to adjust. Left kneecap will pull up, and left ankle is flexed. So this leg is very active. Right foot is in the left inner thigh, and just go ahead and circle into that left ankle a few times, loosening up through the hip, through the ankle, and circle the other way. Noticing your breath, noticing any tension arising. Now hold that flexed position. Take your left hand inside the left foot. So both hands are inside your legs. Inhale, open up the chest, and exhale, hinging forward. This can look very different depending on your flexibility. If your body's like, this is okay, you can continue to walk further forward, but avoid any rounding if you can. Shoulders full back, chest forward, hold. And now let's press that foot into the inner thigh, and the inner thigh presses back into the foot. Notice how this gives you this pelvic hug, like a stability feeling. And exhale, continue to go deeper if it feels good here. Checking in with the breath, with the muscles of the face. Breathing into left hamstrings and inner thighs. Good, and slowly rise up. Now we're gonna open the right leg out as well. And for a lot of us, our hamstrings might restrict us here. So we might end up feeling like we are sitting behind our sitting bones. If that's the case, go ahead and grab a cushion or a block and prop it underneath you so that you're able to take the pelvis and tilt it forward. So I want you to feel like you're tilted forward slightly, even if it's just a tiny amount. Now inhale, open up the chest, press the feet away from each other, and exhale, stay here. Shoulders relaxed, face soft. And if you do this a lot, if you do it continuously, progressively a few times a week, you will definitely feel that improvement with time. So here we're stretching our inner thighs and our hamstrings together. Visualize your body just softening into it, that your chest is coming closer to the floor, your collarbones are widening, shoulders are relaxed. We'll stay here for 3 more breaths. I like to use my contact with the mat, so I drag the mat back to really find that back bend feeling across the chest. Heart is shining forward. The last 2 breaths. Good, and then we're gonna slowly rise up. Let's bring the feet together into a diamond shape. So this is different from a butterfly. If you notice, my heels are very far from my pubic bone. So we have this kind of big diamond shape. Now go ahead and grab your big toes. Inhale, pull the chest through the arms. Widen the collarbones even if it's very slight. Exhale, round through the spine. You can let your head relax here. 2 more times. Inhale, pull the chest forward, shoulders back. Exhale, round, and inhale. You're gonna grab the big toes. You're gonna pull the chest forward, arch the spine. Exhale, round. Let your head just relax here. So if this feels okay, you can stay lifted. Maybe your head will rest, if you still have that cushion, rest your forehead onto it. Maybe your head will hang between the ankles or the feet, just breathing here. And if you notice here, we are rounding our spine for this diamond shape, for this star pose. Breathing into the space between the shoulder blades and just noticing any different sensations here. 2 more breaths. Good, and when you're ready, slowly rise up. Use your hands to close the feet together. And we're gonna slowly lower ourselves all the way down. Coming right back into the star shape, so feet are far from the pubic bone, knees are opening out, and hands find the low belly again. Just taking a moment to soften into the floor, letting go of any effort. If you want, you can stay here. It's a bit more gentle. If you want, you can slide the feet a little closer and use the hands on the inner thighs to encourage the hips to open out. Relax your shoulders and just take a few breaths here, letting go of any extra effort, any extra work. Coming back to that one word or one intention that you set in the beginning of this practice, keeping it with you for the rest of your day. Take a moment to thank yourself, thank your body, and your practice, honoring the teacher within yourself. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know in the comments how this went, how it feels, and keep repeating this class. Definitely, if you have tension in the inner thighs, it will continue to get better. Another last tip is that when I was in the beginning of my practice, I would sit in butterfly pose and read a book or watch a movie, and really by the end of that book or movie, my knees would be definitely lower. So you want to spend a lot of time in your everyday life in that position so that you can introduce it, because like I said in the beginning, a lot of us barely ever open our hips like this, right? We don't walk in this way, we don't normally sit like this that often, so definitely introduce this range of motion through movement and through consistency into your everyday life to really see that difference. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you back here very, very soon. Lots of love.